Welcome to another quick review by Comet Reviews. This is Edmund. There's a lot to cover, and it's going to be quick. But yet, I'm going to skip some of them. Just because they're not worth our time, but also because they're problematic, and some I won't even show their posters. If there is some that I've skipped, and you think that we should have covered them, please leave a message in the comments. Here's the plan. We're going to go from worst to best. And this is only so that I can skip over some of the terrible things that have been released in this season. First, the original sin. The first crime. Higehiro. After being rejected, I shaved and took in a high school runaway. This monstrosity is one of the four first that basically plays on these bad romance and illusions of young mangaka, and for some reason has been allowed to air by the studios in Japan and has been actually available on Crunchyroll and other streaming sites. I don't even know what they're thinking about. But anyways, so the guy clearly should go to prison if any of the people related knew what's best for the young girl. But for some reason, he takes in the young girl, keeps her there for, I think it's been at least a week or two, and there are no plans as to what she should do for herself. What's best for her? This is a tough situation, but knowing what Sayu has been through, Yoshida shouldn't actually keep her that long. He should have contacted the authorities, tried to get her some professional help, and contact the family, because I'm sure that they're looking for her. And even if they're not looking for her, the police probably are, and they should be notified. If you ever get into this same situation, this is not how you should deal with it. And if anyone else that you know is in the same situation, do not support this behavior. Next up, OSAMAKE romantic comedy. No plot, no story, just some useless sketches and panty shots and ecchi scenes. Nothing really to see here. Let's move on. Third, but not least, Koikimo. This is too disturbing to be called love. That's the actual name in English. That's terrible. This old man keeps hitting on this young high school girl, and her friend, the sister of the man, just finds it so funny that she helps him, gives him tips, gives him ideas and information on how to conquer her heart. And she's so troubled that she doesn't understand. Is this harassment supposed to be love? No, it's not. He's a stalker. He's harassing her. He's way older, so it's actually child molestation. So frankly, there is no romance here. Last of the four, don't toy with me, Miss Nagatoro. Frankly, I can't even. Basically, Nagatoro is just going to go around trying to tease the protagonist, and there is no plot. You may think that some sort of relationship will build, and maybe there will be, but I won't be there to find out, and neither should you. Nice drawings. It seems like the artists have talent, and maybe that talent should be used elsewhere. Yes. Oh, Cestus. So, we don't know how Cestus became a slave, but he becomes one, and then goes on to fight as a gladiator in the Colosseum. I remember actually reading the manga. It looked a little interesting, but the anime actually does not do it justice. There is way too much CGI for no reason. So you could skip over this one. Maybe read the manga. Mars Red. I don't even know. Like, the CGI was so bad. The graphics were so bad. I didn't know if anything was going to happen. So I actually didn't continue this. If anyone thinks that there's something to mention here, please leave it in the comments. Fairy Ranmaru. I can't even. Like, from the poster, It looks like it's going to be very interesting, but they're just fairies that have been sent to the human world to, I don't know anymore. There was this recital of the rules, and I got thrown off. Anyways, not worth our time. Zombieland Saga Revenge. Is this like a second season of something? I try to understand. And it feels like there are two stories that run in parallel. They wanted to have fun with the trope of zombies and some high school young girls that are frolicking around in a series of abandoned buildings. I don't know. I was not captivated, so I moved on. Let's make a mug too. Yeah, let's not. Eden Zero. I'm sure the story is interesting. Actually, maybe it is. But the fact that the artists just reused the same characters and the same names to create a completely unrelated, different story, it just threw me off so much that I couldn't continue watching the episode. So, if this is actually good, let us know in the comments, because I'm not gonna find out, not by myself. The world ends with you. So from the few first seconds, it looked like it was going to be interesting, but then the exposition actually shows that the story has been misconstructed, and the bad graphics, nothing's made me think that I should continue watching this, so I didn't. Let me know if it's any good. Burning Kabaddi. Is that actually a sport? Is this something they made up? Anyways, the way the protagonist is thrown into the sport is so ridiculous that there is no point in trying to find any of the questions, the open questions that are laid out in the first episode. I just stopped. I stopped watching. Dragon House Hunting. Actually, you know what? The beginning was really good. This one actually made me think like, yes, we can follow this dragon onto a journey of independence. Frankly, it didn't look like there was going to be any plot or any story to follow. So I just stopped. And I don't think you should watch it either. Just a red herring with a red dragon. Wait, who put this here? No. We didn't discuss this. That's not even supposed to be in the list. But yes, Wonder Egg Priority. Just the title. I can't. I don't think it's any good. If it is any good, let us know. Lol. Combatants will be dispatched. I actually tried watching this. Had to wash my eyes a few times. I don't understand. Like, basically, they're trying to take over the world in multiple dimensions, or some sort of... I'm not sure if this is supposed to be some sort of Pinky on the Brain, a la Japan. Maybe it is. I won't find out. Super Club. I actually thought that it was called Super Club, or... I feel like there's some pun or some sort of word choice, wordsmithing that could have happened here, but it didn't. Yeah, so basically we're just going to follow a couple of young girls and their bikes. And that could have been interesting, but it feels like they leave the characters flat just so that the bikes can shine, which makes no sense. And I would have loved just to follow on the idea that she got the bike because somebody died. I don't know, maybe the plot develops that. Maybe somehow we're going to learn that. Maybe we won't. Yeah, we won't. Let's not. So, Vanguard OverDress. I think they just couldn't call it. I like to make my little brother cross dress, but that's basically what it seems to be. That's it. Like, just forcing the little brother to wear dresses and makeup just so that they can be mistaken for a young girl and hit it on, and that's it. That's basically the story. There's nothing here. Farewell, my dear Cramer. I still don't know what the title means. I tried, I think, 2 or 3 episodes. What is this? I mean, it doesn't have to be Captain Tsubasa and all these other anime that we love and remember, but the pacing is so bad. The drawing is good. They could have done so much more. And maybe, I don't know, 40 episodes down the line is one of those Bleach effects when you see that the animation gets so good and the story gets so much better that it feels like they actually picked up the pace. But again, I won't find out. It was long, but finally, the last of the Bad Bunch, The Princess of Snow and Blood. I actually enjoyed the animation and also the sound design, but there's something missing. There's something missing in the motivation of the characters and the story building. It feels, I can't quite put my finger on it, but it feels like this anime went towards showing us the gore and the action and the blood and the fights, and then forgot that in the middle we're supposed to have a story, something compelling that will actually make us come back. So, this season we have a couple of continuations and remakes, and first up, 7 Deadly Sins. Now, it looks like we might be in the final season. Who knows, they might stretch it. But I like where it's going. I'm looking forward to new episodes every week. Boruto. Yes, I watch Boruto. Finally, we're gonna learn who that person is from the opening credits. And after all this time, we might understand how Boruto got the mark in his palm, and we might find out if there was any point to watching this series at all. Aha! One Piece. I don't know. If you didn't start One Piece, you might want to do that. It's actually an amazing series, and if you have any desire to binge on something for months on end, this is actually a good candidate. I've actually watched it twice in a row already, so I'm sold. Yay! My Hero Academia is back, and then we're just seeing fights between classes A and B, and it's on the poster, and maybe there's nothing else in this season. Oh my god. Sure, I want to learn about the other students. Yes, I want to learn their powers, but is this the filler season? Like, nothing's going to happen? Nothing that matters? Sure, they got us with the fight with number 2. Well, I mean, now he's the number 1 hero. But I want it to be so good. I feel like it's going to be terrible. Final season of Fruits Baskets. Finally here. We kind of get a glimpse of how the curse or the bond may be broken, and we may get some resolution. It's sad, but this might be a good ending. Iruma-kun is back. And that's it. I enjoyed the first season. Frankly, I'm sure I'm going to enjoy the second one, but I don't think that there are any stakes here. It's just good old demon high school fun. This spring, we pick up from the last Megalobox, and I don't remember. Those flashbacks serve no purpose. I sincerely can't remember what happened. I know you won. And then what? What? And then he becomes an addict? What? And then he just goes into another, I don't know, country, region. Maybe this was a filler. Who knows? But I guess he's gonna keep boxing. It kind of looks interesting, but then it doesn't. I'm really just hoping that it gets better at this point. Lastly, Dragon Quest: The Adventure of Dai. I remember reading the manga, and I think I may have heard of the original animation. This seems to be a remake. Looks good, and frankly, I've enjoyed the story so far. Although it's one of those action hero trope-filled animation where they just keep getting back up after taking the ultimate hit, after already attaining the maximum of their power, they get even more powerful. Yeah, I know DBZ and all the other ones do the same thing, but if it's going to be a remake, I don't know, fix something. It doesn't have to be necessarily the story or the plot, but you can just skip over the things that are not needed to move the story along. Finally, we're here. Not just the ongoing anime, but the new ones for this season that have any promise. First up, To Your Eternity. I've actually read the book a couple of years back, and I was really interested. And frankly, the animation does it justice. There's a little bit of narration at the beginning, but it's worth it. You should watch it. Full-Dive, this RPG game, is even shittier than real life. I don't know. Real life can be pretty shitty. This is actually a very funny anime, and I can't understand how the story is going to develop. And that's good. It's good that we can't tell what's going to happen next, because this means that there was some thought and imagination that went into making this anime. I highly recommend it. So I'm a Spider, So What? I didn't know that was a Crunchyroll original. Frankly, that's their best yet. I can't even remember the titles of the other ones they did. None of them are of note. This one is. It's one of those long titles. I've been killing slimes for 300 years and maxed out my level. What the hell? Just call it Slime Killer. It would have been enough. It's actually fun. It's actually laid back. Just another isekai, but in this case, we get to see a protagonist go through a slow-paced action anime. Back Arrow. Frankly, I couldn't get why they called him that, but then I think it's a play on words. It's supposed to be Bakaero, as in idiot. We're following a protagonist that enters a world where conviction or I guess beliefs can be used to fight and to garner power, and he is trying to escape that world and enter and mount the wall that surrounds Lingaling. 7 nights. Actually, the CGI is not that bad, and the story is quite interesting. Although we do get some early filler episodes just so that we don't lose interest, I imagine. And there's a promise that interesting things are to come. 86. By far the best action anime this season. We have a federation of 85 provinces that allow their citizens to live glamorous lives, and anyone outside of that is called 86 and dubbed subhuman, and so they can be used as fodder and meat shields in the war against the enemy. Tokyo Revengers. Terrible title, but the story is interesting, even though the mechanics make no sense. We follow the protagonist as he zips back and forth between the past and the future. So it looks like it's an interesting story. Backflip. It's an interesting story about men's acrobatics, and we follow the protagonist as he joins 4 Senpai for the Inter-High. Those Snow White notes follows a shamisen player that just lost his grandparent, and who is enticed by a song, an impromptu song that the grandpa has been playing for almost 30 years and improving this whole time. And so the grandson and his brother have been following this sound and this technique, trying to mimic the grandpa. I believe this story is about discovering your own talent and self-worth. It's an interesting story that couldn't have been told without the instrument. And I like that the instrument is not just there for show or for a sound design. So I do encourage you to watch it. Odd Taxi? is actually a wild card here. It's an interesting anime about a story that develops on multiple levels, and we follow this walrus, I want to say. You'll have to correct me. Maybe it's not a walrus. I don't know. As it tries to navigate through a world of loneliness, mischief, and crime. Oh yeah, and almost like the first anime we covered, for some reason he has a young girl hidden in his apartment. But we can spend a couple of episodes without mentioning that. The saint's magic is omnipotent. I don't know why they didn't find another title for this, but it seems to be well done. It develops at a slow pace, but in a reasonable manner. We follow the protagonist who is thrown into an isekai setting through a summoning, and there's been a mistake. For some reason, two people have been summoned instead of one, and they believe that the other one is the saint. So, her being a little older and maybe less attractive is left up to her own devices and gets to discover the world, while the other one gets sheltered by the prince and the court. Phew! So, this has been a somewhat long, quick review. If you have any comments, please leave them under the video. If you enjoy our videos, please leave a like. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe. We have a lot of content coming for you, and there's always going to be an anime or a manga you haven't read, you haven't heard of, you haven't watched, or maybe something that you can rediscover that you've loved before and should binge again.